Hey Jamal, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you on your busy schedule that you have because I know you're a busy man. So Jamal, please let me know where are you from originally?
Um, so hello, thanks for having me, Robin. Appreciate it. Um, so I am of Guyanese descent, uh, and with an American background. So I'm a second generation Guyanese American. Um, yeah.
Okay, okay. And where did you grow? Did you grow up in Guyana?
Um, so um, so I was born in America,
Mhm.
but I did live for some time in Guyana.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, in my adolescence.
okay. Where did you live after, or where were you born in America? Excuse me.
I was born in Queens, New York.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Long Island Jewish Hospital.
Uh huh. That's where I was born.
Oh snap! That's what's,
LIJ. I did not know that about you. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So, but you lived in you grew up in Massachusetts, though, right?
Um, so um, family migrated from Guyana to Chicago, from Chicago to Brooklyn, New York. So from Brooklyn, New York, everybody kind of grew and went their different paths. My mother went to Massachusetts, so that's essentially how I ended up in Massachusetts. Going to finishing out my high school years there and uh, finishing college here also.
Okay. All right. You went to college here in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, so initially I went to Clark Atlanta University, HBCU. Shout out to Clark Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I initially went there and transferred back here. Only really due to like tuition situation. Um, you know, Also, I was analyzing the world in business. And although I love the HBCU aspect, it really it's amazing for any black male, black female. It's a great system to thrive in. But I found that I needed something else because I wanted to see business on a different level, and that was just my thinking in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I did ended up transferring to University of Massachusetts Amherst.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, how was your experience at Clark Atlanta? Was it of course, being HBCU, did you kind of feel, I kind of want to say at home? You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people say with I went to a technical college, so it was a good mixture of every background and race. But like with being at a HBCU, did you kind of feel at home and you know what I mean? And
What I felt was, just a strong sense of empowerment,
mhm.
being around so many black faces, all your teachers, professors are black,
Mhm.
you kind of feel like you're in a place of doing no wrong, like you can't go wrong here, everything that you need is here. Clark Atlanta, I mean, my initiation there was just phenomenal.
Mhm.
Because it was such a culture. It was really a culture shock too, because I never lived in the South, so it was my first experience in the South. And then I was moving from a predominantly white environment
Mhm.
um, to going into HBCU. You got Clark Atlanta, you got Morehouse,
Right.
Spelman, all sharing the same campus.
Mhm.
You got also Brown. Um, so you have these schools in the area, and just different. I've gotten to experience different people in the entertainment world, in the financial world, you know, who all look like you and I. So um, it was very empowering, you know, to see, you know, these black bodies, you know, because it's an example for you, right? Because, you know, most of the time you've never seen this, or, you know, you've never been so close or in an environment that's just all about, you know, lifting you up, you know, even when you're down. So the Clark Atlanta HBCU system for me, it was great, you know, and I wish um, I don't really have any regrets, but I do wish that like I could have finished my years out at the school.
But it was a good experience.
It was amazing. Yes.
Okay. Was it a big difference versus going back up to Massachusetts?
Yeah, totally huge difference. Clark Atlanta is you know, very small school as opposed to UMass. I can't even tell you any numbers right now because I'm not UMass. I know every day they're actually like just expanding their programs, the building new buildings every day. You know, whereas Clark, they only have about so much room to work with. So I know the student body is you know, is probably 10 times what is at Clark Atlanta. So I got to experience a lot of different races, and, you know, a lot of different people from all different places as well. You know, but then the black community at UMass is a pretty tight knit community. So you end up running into everybody, knowing everybody, and just being on the same page, you know, because we understood there's just this camaraderie of having to, you know, align with each other and, you know, have each other's backs and, you know, that sort of thing. So the community is very tight knit for sure. You know, we have black student unions and these different programs that also, you know, help pull us together. You know, you have the different sister schools in this area also. So those schools also have black student unions. So you just end up merging and forming this alliance with you know, people that look like you, because you're kind of forced to do that here more so than you are in Clark Atlanta, you know, because that's what the environment is, that, you know, is the essence of blackness. Whereas in a place here like UMass, that's not what it is at all. So you got to kind of force that and, you know, pull together, if you will.
Right. No, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So now with your background, Chef Mally's Table. I love it. So how did you get into becoming a chef? Because you didn't study that. So I'm just curious to how is it something that you kind of just fell into?
So culinary arts journey for me was a very personal journey. First, really, you know, it just started for myself, wanting to learn how to cook, trying to save food, then getting into the facts and the nutrition system of food and what it means for your soul, your body, your mind, just your everyday living, you know. And then, you know, it was just another level. I just kept leveling up in regards to like understanding food, you know, understanding that food is your medicine, and like, you know, you need to like take that serious, what you're putting into your body, you know, what you put in is what you get out. So, you know, I just understood the food on a different level, because I binged into studying it. You know, I did all type of research and different things, and, you know, and it just kept getting more and more interesting for me. So for, you know, doing social work, I wanted to try to figure out how to, you know, give give people this gem that I was now sort of coming into or realizing. So I wanted to broadcast that message. So I started with a cooking class called Coping Through Cooking.
Okay.
Predominantly for teaching people how to feed themselves better or properly, understanding that food is a medicine and it shouldn't be
Right.
used as just some sort of comfort, or you shouldn't lean on food. You should only lean on food to provide you medicine. That's the only way you should look at food. It shouldn't just be something that is, quickly turned over and you eat it. And, it should be looked at as if you were taking a pill to get better. Food is a medicine. You should treat it as such. You should respect it as such. It shouldn't be, in our world right now, we have like a lot of fast food and just a lot of get quick, get full kind of things, and a lot of these things aren't good for you at all, man.
And it's constantly growing too.
Yes. You think about, 30 years ago, the amount of different cancers and diseases there is right now, they weren't prevalent then. So you have to ask yourself, why is that? Why does more people seem to be getting sick? Where are these things coming from? Why do people have more illness? Like what is the factor here? And obviously life brings us different factors, but a lot of people don't actually pay attention to what food is doing to them, how food plays a factor. Right. A lot of people are hard working class people, and they can't, they don't have the time afforded for them to maybe cook a proper meal, so they're looking at the fast food and how do we.
It's so easy to get.
Yes.
It's literally like right there on every corner.
Yes.
It's amazing how fast it's just grown. But even with you saying that, with the different ailments that we have in society and cancer and and it's all growing and it's happening so fast. And me personally, I do believe that food, the processed food, the GMOs, all that, the hormones, all that does affect our body because it's unnatural. You know what I mean?
Right. I was just reading an article the other day about, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's some sort of additive in Skittles, and they use this additive in a lot of different candies, and and this same additive is banned in many, many, many countries around the world.
Right.
But the US, it's not banned.
Right.
I know they were brought up on a lawsuit the other day. So we'll see where that goes. But these are things that are predominantly in so many things. Like you think about like all the breads that's in the stores, like and you go check out the breads and you go look at the ingredients, and it's probably like it's at least 15 plus ingredients in the bread. Bread is made with like 4 ingredients. So
they just added in just different.
So they add these additives to keep it on the shelves, and but you're putting this stuff in your body,
right.
And my recommendation is if you can't read what's on the labels, you can't read the ingredients, if you can't pronunciate the ingredients, why are you in this? Why would you subjugate your body to something like that? But this is the world we live in, right? People, right. People don't I don't want to say people don't care enough, but there's just, you know, uh, many of us aren't privileged enough to have that information. That's just the truth. Many of us just we don't have the information. People are distracted, so many different things going on in life in general. So, to look at food as your medicine for a lot of people it's difficult. The distractions are, there are many. So,
That's a good way to put that.
I'm sorry.
I like how you put that. Look at food as your medicine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like when you say it like that, it makes such a difference in how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? And what you're putting into your body. And maybe then you're more conscious of it. Because I know I have to do a lot better than what I'm doing right now. But you just gotta open up your eyes to it, I think, and hopefully not be tempted.
Yeah, food is like a real personal thing to people, so some people are just, they like what they like, and then some people, many of us, like, you know as a child you get fed certain taste buds, and those things just multiply, and then as an adult you don't really have a definition for your own diet. You're just going off of memory, what your parents did and what their parents probably did, so you're not even able to like step out of that box if you don't already have the information. So this is generational curses too. These are generational curses, and I don't know, like there's just so many good foods that people reject because of what the popular society says is good or you should eat, but there's just so many good things, man. Like people like frown, like like just simple beans. People don't even understand the nutriments and the vitamins that are in these things that will help you thrive throughout your day. So I don't know. It's personal for people. It's a personal journey, and a lot of times you just got to get there on your own. It's hard to tell somebody what to eat.
Right. Let me ask you: are you a vegetarian? Are you plant-based? Are you vegan?
No. So I'm not vegetarian. I'm not plant-based. I definitely I like to so I might dabble in chicken. I love chicken. And fish. I don't do red meats. And both chicken and fish, I try to do it in moderation. I don't try to, like I'm not eating chicken every single day. I'm not eating fish every single day, so I like to change it up, switch it up, in and out of, a lot of veggies and,
Right.
So just switching it up, keeping it fresh, but, not leaning on one or the other more so, or, but just making sure when I'm eating, I know where it's from. That's the most important part.
Right.
A lot of our foods is pumped with different toxins and hormones and even the living conditions that these animals sometimes are in are just they're not livable at all. You have chickens living on top of chickens. But I wouldn't prescribe anybody or say, hey, this is how you should eat, or this is the diet you need, or you should eat chicken or you shouldn't eat chicken. That's not how I look at it. I look at where these things are being sourced, like where's this coming from? Do you have the information on that? Do you know what this cow ate? Because if you're gonna eat beef, you should probably know what the cows eat. So these are things that people don't really like you know, people don't pay attention to that food chain, you know.
So you're eating what they're eating.
Exactly. You know, they say you are what you eat.
Right.
That's a real thing, you know. So,
Right.
you know, yeah, people are right that, you know, people who are vegetarians, yes, they are right that, hey, you know, these you know, these veggies or whatever may well be better for you than a cow, you know, but once again, where are these things being sourced, right? Like, you know, you might not want to eat beans that's sourced from a certain place that doesn't have great soil, and you know, those beans might not be greatly nutritionally beneficial to you. So, you know, you might not want to eat from a you know, a butcher who has cows living on top of each other, you know, like especially here in the US, you know, we have a system that has to have people working, you know, they have to continuously keep moving. So, you know, the fast foods and all of these places, they all make sense. You know, the reason we have a whole bunch of different you know, grocery stores with fruits in them that can't grow in the local area, you know, like all of these things have a market and there's a reason for it, you know. And in America where people are just going and going and going, you know, the fast food places, they make sense. That's why these places make a lot of money, you know, because, you know, hardworking people, is for some, it's hard for them to actually, you know, cook a meal, you know, get fresh ingredients, you know, and then it depends on the environment you live in. You know, some environments don't afford you fresh ingredients, you know, so it's a lot of balanced acts that you have to look at pertaining to food here.
I know we talked about like food in America. So you just recently, I'm kind of switching gears. You just recently moved to Uganda.
Yes.
So when did you move? It hasn't been a year, right?
Oh no, it hasn't been a year. It's been about 9 months.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
How's
You know,
your experience been so far?
experience is amazing. You know, speaking about freshly sourced food, you know, the food is just fresh, you know, and you can just taste it, you know, especially if you've had food in America versus having food over there, you know, you can just taste it. Everything is, I don't even know how to describe it.
Right? You're like, you have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah, the freshness of food, man, is you know, it's different, you know, and you know, you walk down the street and you can just buy fresh stuff that just came from yards away, you know. You walk around and there's fruits just falling off of the trees, you know. So you have this abundance of food, you know, just all around you, and you know, we're also talking about a system that, you know, the food isn't, you know, the food isn't as expensive as it is here, you know. So budgeting wise, you know, you can you know, you can have fun eating so many different things and trying so many different things, and I think that's like you know, like one of my joys of being there, you know. It's like a chef heaven, you know, because you can find fresh, you know, because that's any good chef will tell you, the freshest is the best, you know. So I love it. I that my experience so far has been phenomenal.
Okay.
So I was initially introduced to Uganda by a friend, Messi, you know, who owns several businesses there in Uganda. At the time, she was opening up Kush Lounge, which is an Afro Caribbean restaurant. She needed help, you know, streamlining the menu, training staff, um, and she just needed help, kind of injecting that kind of energy about what Caribbean food is or what it might be, and understanding how Caribbean is African, and African is Caribbean, and those just merging those worlds. So that was my introduction to Uganda. And yeah, forever grateful, man, because that changed my aspect on my life, my trajectory on life. Just showing the sky's the limit, and I don't have to like be married to America to, have a peace of mind or find that peace of mind. I think that's the most difficult thing for probably every human being, is finding peace of mind, So I was able to find mine, and it's just the beginning of the journey. So, I'm grateful and I'm thankful, but I'm just getting started.
I would think it would be scary because you're moving to a whole another continent where you didn't have any family there. You know what I mean? I know you had your friends, but you're literally coming out of your comfort zone. And I know people say that's where you thrive, is being uncomfortable. Like that's how you get ahead in life. And I commend you on that. I think that's awesome. But was it scary for you? How?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would say it wasn't scary at all. I had more anxiety than anything else, just because that's just naturally who I am. And once I finally actually got there, it was just like, oh, wow, like, where have I been? It was an immediate, like, it was an immediate marriage, if you will. I felt so good that when it was time to leave, I didn't want to leave. I was, I came back here depressed and, just studying a way to return to that, that happiness, that blissfulness, yes, I feel very much at peace, it's kind of like how I describe being in the Clark Atlanta environment, just you're feeling welcomed and you're feeling like you could do no wrong, you're feeling like, there'll be people there to lift you up when you're down, if you're feeling just this harmony, you're smiling more than you're frowning, you're crying,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the animals, the monkeys, and everything else in between that, and then the spirit of the Ugandan people are amazing, they're very humble, for me, very welcoming, and very peaceful, man. They just show that they're trying to survive just like everybody else. You talk about different rules, regulations, and different ways and people how systems are operating. Yeah, I don't know if that best says it, but I mean everything is different. Just the customary everything. From the nightlife to the food to the soil to the weather, the environment, the just everything is just different, like just very different. How they approach issues are completely different.
Anybody that is thinking about like moving outside of the US, would you have any advice for them, or is there anything that you would say?
Feel those differences, see exactly what I'm speaking of, and just everything is different. The way that somebody approaches you is going to be different. The way that people speak to you is going to be different. It's a whole different world, the US being very, kind of quick and
Constantly going.
constantly going, whereas there, you're going to find a slower pace in things, and people, people moving at their own beat of the drum,
Yeah.
so there's so many differences, but, I recommend the trip for, you know, if you're a black body, you should go to, that you should make it a duty to go see Africa. If you identify as a black man or woman, African American, Caribbean American, wherever the diaspora is at, you should go see that if you have the opportunity. It's definitely a privilege to go there because, some people won't see it in their lifetime. And,
Right.
um, they don't market, the motherland as
Mm-hmm.
a place that you can experience just blissfulness and greatness, so it's one of those things that you gotta like search and seek out. I've been seeing a lot more people visit the continent and kind of spread the word, and so I feel like that buzz is the buzz has been there. Also African music has been dominating the airways a lot, also with the big money. Investors, they've been investing, so you should make it your own duty to invest there, and just see what's going on. Just look at it as an option. A lot of people don't even, it's not even on their radar. So black Americans, I would ask them to try to look outside of the box that explore some things, read on some different things, don't be afraid to, step out of your comfort zone, because I understood that moving was a risk, but it was all I had, I didn't want to like live this life anymore. I didn't want to like be subjugated to Karens and the police, watching my every move all the time, so I wanted to do something different and, move in a different direction. I would encourage people to just, take it when for the privileged ones out there, when you're thinking about taking that trip to Paris, think about going to Kenya, think about going to Ghana, think about that,
Think outside the box, like you said, right?
Yeah. And say, man, that trip is a little bit more expensive for a reason. Save those dollars, and go see some giraffes, go explore, go eat good food, so that's what I would encourage the folks to do, man.
Okay. All right. Thank you. When you said go see some giraffes, I have a client that she went, her husband is from and lives in Nigeria. And
Okay.
she just traveled back there, and she goes back and forth, but she just traveled back there. And she was showing me these beautiful pictures of she went on a safari. And I forget the name of the place, but they literally just stayed right there on the compound. And I thought it was beautiful. It's beautiful. It looked like a resort. And I was just asking her how she felt about it. And she said, not many of us Black Americans go there. You know what I mean? And it's just mind opening.
Yeah.
She said kind of similar to what you were talking about,
Yeah, even in Uganda, you end up having a lot of expats, from Norway and all of these different European places. And you don't see enough of, you don't see enough Black Americans there. You don't see Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean people there. You don't see us there. The information isn't, the propaganda has been stronger than the streamline of the proper real information as to what's actually happening underground.
Right.
So we've been falsified with a lot of things. The propaganda here is very strong. So, these are not things that that are readily in our faces, you know, to explore, you know. So, you know, therefore we have to rely on each other for the information. A piece of my sacrifice too is to, like, you know, just spread the message. Like, you know, I don't have to hoot and holler about it, but I can say, hey, this is what, you know, this is what I'm doing. I encourage people to just explore some more outside of what you know. Because yeah, there's a bigger picture for us out there. You know, that's what I believe. And you know, the continent doesn't get marketed to us. You know, that's not America's job to market Africa to us. You know, we gotta, like, just like it's not America's job to tell us about Malcolm X and, you know, all our great fallen leaders, because that's not something they do in school at all, you know. So it's always left upon us to go do that extra research and that, you know, get the information and continue spreading it to one another.
Continue to teach each other.
Yes, each one teach one, each one reach one. I'm also, I continue to gather information and feed myself, feed my brain. You know, so if there's something bigger and better out there, then I'll go grab it. But, you know, right now, Uganda is the spot for sure, you know, and I love it, and I love the people there, and I'm thriving there. So, yeah, I don't really see anything happening in the foreseeable future. But if something presents itself, then, hey, you never know.
Take it, yeah. You're open to it.
Yeah, you know.
The universe has for you, right?
Yeah, I'm learning in life, you know, you just, you know, life is forever changing, you know. Nobody saw COVID coming, you know. So
right, that's true.
You know, you don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring. For me, I don't know, I move with a lot of grace and humbleness. And I think you know, I think strangers and, you know, the people that I come across, they value that, and they can see that, and they take to that. So makes it much more easier and a natural thing, you know, when I go into environments where people may not know me, or, you know, I thrive in these environments, you know, because I take hold of being myself, you know. So and knowing myself, and, you know, because a lot of people can't do it, you know, a lot of people can't maneuver by themselves or go places by themselves, and I've always been like that. So you know, I don't know, it's just got to be in you, you know. It's not really teachable, you know, it's just based on experiences, you know.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that that you said you thrive in those type of situations.
Yeah, I have a good time with myself first, you know. And if you know, if you can have a good time with yourself, if you know, there's a lot of without the phone, they can't do without being around people. They gotta watch TV, they gotta stimulate themselves in those ways they can't use themselves to stimulate themselves, you know. So a lot of people can't deal with themselves, you know. So going to Jamaica for me was easy, and I had tons of fun, you know. Tons of fun. I was there for a week, you know, did the nightlife, did the beach life, you know. I got pictures of me and a bunch of dudes that I just met, and I just bought them beers and shit, you know, having a good time, you know. And, you know, I had a lot of good, I was in some spots that I probably shouldn't be in. Like, I had a good time. And I didn't feel threatened once, you know. For me, man, when I'm around my people, you know. And yeah, you know, obviously if the vibes is nice, I'm there, you know. And, you know, you just got to be able to read the room sometimes. So foremost, you gotta love yourself to do these certain things, you know. A lot of people don't have it in them to just go and explore the world. Right.
But you're definitely right with, you do have to love yourself and be at peace within yourself, because I feel like a lot of people aren't. And especially during COVID too, I think a lot of people that was a hard time for a lot of people that spent a lot of time by themselves. You know what I mean? Myself, in general, I'm kind of like you as far as being alone. Kind of, I have my moments where I like to be out. I like to be
Yeah,
with people. I like the conversation, and but then I have to go and be by myself and kind of reset myself, and that's how I get my energy back. You know?
yeah, most definitely. That's important, protecting your energy, and some people just don't even understand how they're able to channel energy,
Yeah.
uh, onto themselves or even others, so these are things that, it's kind of like it's with you, right? So like you think maybe it should be easier, but it's not, and a lot of that goes back to how you were raised and how you were parented. And
You don't have to constantly have that stimulation. You know what I mean? It's good to just sit in a quiet room and just be with your thoughts. If you can
yeah,
handle that. For some people, they can't handle that.
very hard. It's very hard,
Right.
but you gotta, yeah, it just takes a lot of work, for a long time, I was the only child. So,
Mm.
you know, I think a piece of that comes from that, has there been any inspirational people in my life?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, many, the list is long, but a lot of family members, my mom, my grandmother,
Mm.
I have a ton of cousins, so a lot of people, they inspire me, they may not know it, and, I try to just channel inspiration from that, from the yin and the yang,
Right.
just coming to grips with the bad also, because you learn things from people. Um, they're not always good things,
Mhm.
and obviously you can go and make the same mistakes as others, but sometimes he to that as an example of what not to do, or how to maneuver around things, But I've learned so many different things from family members, um, just about do's and don'ts, and you know, uh, my mom's definitely very inspirational when it comes to taking risk. She's a risk taker, and you know, um, I definitely, huge inspiration from her. Kind of what keeps me thriving. Is grabbing and grasping from all angles and putting it in my toolbox, because it only helps me sharpen my tools, So I take from everything, man. So much is an inspiration, so much to be inspired by. And like I said, even the bad things, there's things to be inspired by that may not go right, but you understand how to bounce back, or how to rebound from, these things, that's just life. Inspiration that I grasp from everybody, man. And it's what keeps me grounded, and it's what, allows me to love myself, because I can just continue learning everything, just learn and learn. Nothing is just so concrete.
No, I love that. Everything is a lesson in life. So I love that.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much, Jamal, for coming on here with Conversations with Robin. I'm grateful to have been able to have you on, because I know that you're going to be heading back home soon, which I know you can't wait.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Yeah. So, do you want to say your Instagram or where?
Oh yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, um, all at Chef Morley's Table, all one word, Chef Morley's Table, no hyphen, just Chef Morley's Table. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter, and yeah, come indulge and see some of the delicious food that I'm serving up. I like to describe myself as a Pan African chef, specializing in African cuisine. So you know, whether it's African American or Caribbean or Afro American. I'm learning and exploring the food and, you know, how, you know, the greatness of our cuisine, you know, put us on the forefront of cuisines, you know. You hear about all the rest of cuisines, the French, the Italians, and everything else. So you need to know about African cuisine. So that's what I, you know, specialize in. You know, yeah, man, I just like to feed the soul, you know. I just like to feed the soul with good, fresh ingredients.
I love
So
that.
follow me at Chef Molly's table.
Well, thank you. Take care of yourself. I wish you well on all of your journey and wherever it takes you.
Yeah, peace, Robin. Thank you very much. Y'all make sure y'all follow Conversation with Robins. You know, get up on these conversations. She's pulling them out, asking all type of questions, far and in between. You know, so yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow her, man.